Hey everyone, Channel X, WashingtonXJ here, showing you the Mauser 98K all original German rifle. This is not a reproduction, this is not a reman, this is the real deal from World War II. As far as I know, it is a battle rifle from the war, as it was purchased that way several years ago. I've had this rifle for a few years. Picked it up for what would be considered as today a very reasonable price. Actually, it's pretty hard to find these rifles now. You will find remans and I believe Yugoslavian rebuilds also. You can pick these Mauser stocks up at Cabela's, but they're not going to be the authentic, which is shown here. It is the original, I believe it is a stained oak. And this is also going to be the large ring Mauser bolt action, which is obviously a bolt action rifle, but one thing to note is it has the original authentic turn down bolt, and it has the bolt cut out on the wood stock, which is both are pretty key traits with the original Mausers. Another thing it has, if we'll pan the camera over here, get my stuff off the table, is on the left, on the actual stock, the rear end of the stock, it has this right here, which is actually just going to be a metal fitting inside of the stock, and it's what you call the bolt takedown ring, and that's going to assist us in actually taking down the bolt itself. Now I'm going to be referring to what we have here is Mitchell's Mausers has this owner's manual. And I never got an actual owner's manual with this Mauser when I purchased it. I do believe it was an aimsurplus.com purchase, but it was, like I said, several years ago. So anyway, this is going to be the intro to the rifle. We're going to go through and actually take down the rifle completely. I'm going to basically disassemble the bolt down to about as far as you're going to need to go to do a thorough cleaning. And we're also going to be refinishing and restaining the wood on this gun. So it's going to be basically come out as a completely refinished weapon, bar the metal. I'm not going to do any kind of metal work with it. So cosmetically though, the rifle, the metal actually is in very good condition on this rifle. I'm trying to improve my lighting on these videos, and hopefully you can see that the turn down bolt and what you can see there of the receiver is actually not pitted at all, and it's actually still, I believe that's what they call Parkerized. So it is in still very good condition. The only thing I want to really touch up will be the wood itself, which will be a completely redone wood in terms of the stain. So like I said, this is what they call the large ring Mauser. It is striker fired, magazine fed. 5 rounds are going to be in the magazine down here, and as you can tell, compared to the Mosin Nagant, it does not have a magazine that extends down, but there are 5 rounds in here. And it's the way that the Germans manufactured the rifle. They designed the magazine to be, I believe it's what they call a stacked load or stacked fed magazine. So it's basically more space conservative, and that's why you don't see that the magazine actually projecting down below the wood. It is approximately 23.5 inches long. 4 grooves, right twist is going to be the rifling, and it is, and actually I'm sorry, that's 23.5 inches for the barrel length, so for the entire length of the rifle it's going to be about 43.5 inches. That makes more sense. And the weight's going to be give or take 8.9 pounds. Now, there's a few things on this rifle that are not exactly 100% authentic. Right down there you will see that there is a bayonet lug, however there's no bayonet. I never received one when I purchased it, and there is also no cleaning rod, so we're going to be using, if we need one at all, we'll be using a different style cleaning rod. It will be one that was supplied by a cleaning kit of mine. But let's go ahead and just take a look at the rifle real quick. Starting at the front, that is going to be what they call the front barrel band, and that's going to be the rear barrel band. And we've got on top, that's going to be what they call, I believe it's the upper handguard, and it is the upper handguard. And moving back, we're going to have this piece of metal right here, which is going to be called the recoil lug. You see the upper portion of the receiver there, the turn down bolt, and it is in the fully safe position. as indicated by this piece of metal right there. Firing pin is obviously still intact, and the magazine is going to be in the actual bottom portion of the receiver in that wood stock, as you can see. Propped up with a little marker there, but that is the trigger guard and the trigger itself. And then basically that space in the wood right there is going to be for your sling, which I do not have the original sling, nor do I have any kind of replacement as of right now, and that is going to be the bolt disassembly lug, or the bolt assist, when we actually take down the bolt of the rifle, or the bolt of the rifle itself. So, hope that helped you out. This is the intro to the Mauser. It does fire what they call a 8mm Mauser round, but it's actually going to be a 7.9 by 57. And the cleaning kit we're going to be using today is actually going to be for a Mauser Gaunt, which is a 7.62 by 5.4. The dimensions are going to be a little bit smaller on the brush, but it will still get the job done fine. So let's go ahead and break down the rifle a little bit more. Now let's make sure that it is safe and empty. Go ahead and take that marker out of the equation. And there is no ammunition for this right now. I'm actually out, but let's go ahead and make sure it's safe. And make sure I've got myself in camera here. Okay. Here's your actual safety lever, safety switch right here. Let me explain this a little bit, how this works. Let's go ahead and first make sure the weapon is safe and empty. Bolts all the way to the rear. There's nothing inside of the barrel itself, and the magazine spring and the follower is completely empty. Go ahead and push the bolt back in. Now, we have actually 3 positions on this safety lever right here. The first is going to be as shown right here. Let's go ahead and get that in frame here. Oh boy, getting out of control. All right. So the first is going to be fire or not safe. This will allow you to pull the trigger and, you know, fire the round as normal. Straight up, vertical, is going to be what they call semi-safe or half-safe, and it will still allow you to move the bolt to the rear to eject or unload the rifle. However, it will disable the trigger, and it will interfere with your vision on the sights, so you will obviously not want to fire the rifle because you'll see that it is in a safe mode. And then all the way to the right is what they call fully safe or extreme safety, is also what I've heard that referred to. Which will actually lock the bolt in place, and will also disable the trigger. So that would be what you would call basically like a locked safety for possibly hunting, or you know, if you're on the move kind of thing, and you don't want that bolt to get hit up and accidentally slide back and may possibly even eject the round. So let's go ahead and we'll walk right into disassembling the rifle. That'll be the next part of the video here. Alright, so these are the materials we're going to be using for the Mauser video. We've got shop towels on the left, 3 different grades of sandpaper, 400, 800, and 2000 grit. We've got a microfiber cloth, an old t-shirt. Terry cloth also will work fine if you don't have a t-shirt. We've got a flathead screwdriver, a industrial strength push pin for pushing out metal pins, and a small drill bit to assist with that. You don't have to if you don't want to. We've got some steel wool here. I've got quadruple 0 and I believe double 0 in there. That's also an optional thing, but it's for refinishing the wood. For the cleaning of the metal pieces, we're going to have a clean bore gun cleaning kit, which is going to be for a 7.62mm Mauser Gaunt, which will work just fine for this Mauser. It's a little bit smaller in dimensions than what we need, but it'll work fine. Beverage of your choice, I'm using boring old water for this. Maybe we'll crack out a beer later. And then we're going to have the, for the wood part of it, we're going to have the wood finish red oak by Minwax. That's your choice, obviously, whatever color you want. And the clear semi-gloss polyurethane fast drying, also by Minwax. And that's it. That's really all you need, and some of that stuff's kind of optional anyway.